you want it, and the recording is in progress. There we go. Hey, welcome to Square Boot Camp. Good Lord, happy to see you here today. Before we get things kicked off, I do have a couple of announcements that I wanted to get through very quickly, and I can assure you we have a lot of content to cover today. So let's jump in. Let's do a couple of very quick announcements. And by the way, that was Journey that I played, and the song was Any Way You Want It, in case you didn't figure that out. But you know what? You're pretty smart. You figured it out pretty darn quick. Let's talk about some upcoming webinars. So next week on Tuesday, this will be our final Toolbox Tuesday for the month of July. And during that session, the topic is going to be revisiting Navigo. Navigo, you guys use it every single day. You fill out your applications, you get your pricing sheets, but did you know there's some really cool features in there that you're probably not taking advantage of? I can assure you that. So make sure you join us for that one next week on Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. Love to see you on that call. If you don't see the invite on your calendar, reach out, sales@paycompass.com. More than happy to forward that invite over to you, so this way you can join us next week on Tuesday. Next week on Wednesday, which is July 29th, we're going to send out all the invites for the month of August. So check this out, okay? In the month of August, we're going to have Coffee with Closers on that very first Tuesday, and then all the remaining Tuesdays after that are going to be Toolbox Tuesday. But wait, here it comes. Every single Thursday during the month of August, we're going to be hosting Square Bootcamp, okay? So I just want to point out that I will send out the invites next week on Wednesday for Coffee with Closers and for Toolbox Tuesday. However, when it comes to all of those boot camps coming up during the month of August, it's going to be a registration process just like we're doing right now. Friends, all I ask is that you just watch your email for that registration link. And just so everybody is aware, there is no boot camp next week on Thursday. We're taking a little bit of a break. We need a little bit of a breather. Seriously, we worked really hard. We do. But I can assure you that following week, jumping right into that first week of August, Toolbox Tuesdays, Square Bootcamp on Thursdays. You guys are going to love it. We have a lot of good stuff coming up for you. So really quick, what I want to do, oh, and by the way, this is kind of like Toolbox Tuesday. If you guys want to use an AI note taker, go ahead and go for it. We don't mind at all. Just know this is being recorded. Probably within about 24 hours or so, this is going to go live on our YouTube channel. Now, one last announcement. Actually, there's a couple bullets to this announcement, but I got to make sure I hit every single one of them. Why? Because I love you. Seriously. No, I do. Why are we doing these Square Boot Camps? Okay. The first reason why we're doing these Square Boot Camps, we want all of you to get familiar with your demo accounts so that you feel confident when you present to any wide array of merchants. Okay, that's the number one goal. Let's get you 100% comfortable with every single facet within your Square demo account. Now, if you have not created a Square demo account, it's super duper easy. Go to square.paycompass.com, one more time with feeling, square.paycompass.com, create an account. Once you've created that account, you're going to send an email to sales@paycompass.com. When you send that email, you're going to provide the following information. You're going to tell them the email address that you used to sign up for your account. You're going to provide the DBA name that you used when you created that account. You're going to provide the DBA address if you decided to put one in there. Last piece, you're going to tell the sales support team which plan you signed up for, okay? Once you send that email over to them, in that email, make sure that you say to them, hey, do me a favor, set up my account as a Square demo account. Once they set it up as a Square demo account, you have the opportunity to go into Navigo, go to the document section, you can download all of the templates, and you can add those templates directly into your Square demo account. If nothing else, I'm telling you right now, it is going to help you to present the solution to a wide array of different merchants in your own backyard. Okay, so that's the first reason why we're doing it, get you familiar with your demo account. The second reason why we're doing this is these sessions are to help you change your mindset. You have sold merchant services for years and you're a professional and you know what you're doing, but you're not selling merchant services. You're selling solutions that solve problems. Okay, we want to change that mindset. All right, so everything that you've known previously, When you're out there and you're selling other technology, that's selling merchant services. When you come to the table with Square, you're selling solutions that solve problems. Okay. Last but not least, the final reason why we're doing these Square boot camps, we also want to change the mindset with Square is only built for small businesses. I'm going to tell you right now, this session that we're going to do today, we're going to break that mindset because we've got some really good content that's going to make you look at businesses much, much differently. Okay. Last but not least, I promise, last but not least, when we do Square Bootcamp, it's all about your demo account. It's all about teaching you how to navigate your demo account. During these sessions, okay, and I want to make sure I'm clear on this, during these sessions, we're not going to address any questions when it comes to pricing. Okay, if you came to the table and your question is regarding surcharging or cash discounting, this isn't the conversation. Okay, if you need help with pricing though, my God, you're surrounded by great people that'll be more than happy to help you out. You can reach out to your local RSD, you can reach out to sales@paycompass.com, and the final resource is right there in your pocket. The Genie app right there on your phone, that's got some good information there in regards to Square pricing. Okay, so as far as your questions go today, ask us hypothetical situations. Would this be a good fit for this, or this? We want to hear those questions. So today we're going to present content. Our goal is to wrap up with our content within about 35, 40 minutes. We want to make sure that we set aside the remainder of today's session for all of your questions. Now, as John and I are presenting content, you can put your questions right in the chat. We're going to make sure that we get those addressed. Okay? Whew, look at that. It's a whole bunch of announcements, but I'm doing it for you because I love you. Seriously. That's why I tell you all these things. Let's get this kicked off. My gosh. Today's topic is called hybrids. Hybrids everywhere. It's true. I'll bet you didn't realize how many hybrid businesses are right on Main Street, and you walk right past them, not even realizing that you have an opportunity to solve a lot of their challenges. So you know what? I can't do this by myself, so I got to bring in my co-host. Ladies and gentlemen, direct from the state of New Jersey, give some love to Mr. John Marshall. Hey, John.
Scott, good afternoon. It's fun to be getting into the boot camp again. I love that song choice too because it fits the hybrid model, right? Any way you want
It does.
That's what we're solving for. The traditional legacy POS were so vertical specific, they've sort of siloed themselves out of these hybrid marketplaces, which Square addresses very, very well. And I also want to go back to your Navigo comment. In that section where the demo account files are located, there is also a guide to walk you through how to use them, what steps to take, because there is an order of operations that needs to be done properly. So just wanted to throw that out there. Read the guide, download the files, let us know if you need help.
But John, if they get stuck, would you be a resource that could help them out?
I am.
That's good.
I will be. Oh, there we go.
Oh, okay, can you see my screen? The
awesome.
title?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
All right, excellent. John, let's jump right in. We have got so much that we need to share with our friends here today. So I'll tell you what, one of the first things that you shared when we were putting together this session, right out of the gate, I think this is a drum that we've kind of beat on just a little bit, but friends, every single one of you, we're going to continue to beat on this drum because we have got to make the point to you that if you're going out to businesses and if the only thing you're doing is presenting the free plan, ooh, I don't know if I really want to ask them, to spend money per month, you're missing the boat. You're missing the boat. If nothing else, feel confident going into every single merchant that you talk to, starting with that middle plan, which is called the Plus plan, coming in at $49 per month. John, take it from here. Why should they start with that middle plan at $49 per month?
Well, many of the features that we're going to show today and talk about are not part of the free plan. And I'm also going to mention the $49 plan is per operation, per rooftop, per site. You could have a dozen handhelds deployed and it's still $49. Actually, every one of our alternative POSs charges per device. So I think that's very interesting that 49 unlocks this incredible tool set and you are not impeded financially by adding whatever devices in whatever quantity you want. And that's really, really outstanding. And plus, 49 is probably less than the starting plan SaaS of the other brands anyway.
Exactly, because for the most part, and we've had this conversation before, but it's worth revisiting again. When it comes to solutioning, when it comes to having those conversations with a merchant, we've all heard it historically. We've all had these conversations where it's, hey, you know what? I've got a merchant. I got to set him up with a point of sale system. I got to set him up with a payment device. And he also told me that he needs invoicing and recurring billing and things like that. Okay, well, now take a look at those SaaS costs. Now you got the SaaS on the point of sale system, and now you might have to pay a little bit of a SaaS for that payment device. And you know what? Now that you added that virtual terminal, guess what? You just tagged on a third SaaS. Square, all in one fell swoop. Like John said, it is not per device, friends. It is per rooftop. It is per location. Wait until you see the locations that we're going to be diving into today, because I can assure you it's going to help to switch that mindset. Okay. So, John, some of the ones that we just kind of listed here very quickly to get our audience thinking about, food versus retail. Yeah, sure. You know what? We've heard that one historically for years. Hey, you know what? I'm dealing with this cafe and they've got a food truck and sometimes they do catering. Yeah, perfect. That is a great hybrid opportunity. Some of these service industries that actually provide a little bit of retail as well. All right, you know what? We're going to dive into that. Attractions. Everybody pay attention to attractions, because when we hit on this, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to open doors that you didn't even realize were available, or it's going to make you realize that you might have gone to one of these types of businesses with the wrong solution in place the first time around. And the thing is, there's no harm, no foul. But sometimes with some of these opportunities, they kind of get you hung up and they go, oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention that I need to schedule appointments. I need the ability to publish a calendar. And you're like, oh, man, I spun my wheels recommending all these POS systems, and now you threw a curveball at me. This is where Square solves these problems. John, let's jump in because I
So,
am.
Scott, before you leave the slide,
Yep, go ahead.
I noticed the plus plan and the word plus and the symbol plus on all these hybrids. So as we go
Okay.
through this, keep that plus sign in mind, because this is the Swiss Army knife of POSs. So let's dive in.
Some might even say it's a Leatherman,
Well,
but we'll
we'll
find. I
see if
don't
we
think
get to
we'll see if we get that today. I know, right?
that.
All right, John, right out of the gate, let's just start with the category hospitality and entertainment. Okay. Left hand side, we're going to start with QSRs and restaurants. And for the most part, agents, we've had these conversations before, you and I. You talked to me about these restaurants that do the catering, that have a function hall, and they have buffets and things like that. John, take it from here. What are some of the things that we should be thinking about when it comes to QSR and restaurants?
Well, you have food trucks up top, Scott, which I think is interesting. And I think Square is a good fit for a food truck. But I think what we were really thinking of is I have a brick and mortar already, and I'm adding or have a food truck out on the road, and I want to roll up all the sales. I want to market to both sets of clients, right? All of those things. So again, this is not necessarily thinking about a freestanding food truck, but a food truck as an add-on to your brick and mortar. The other thing, Scott, a lot of places do catering, and it's different portions, different quantities, different prices. Maybe actually it's custom catering, like you do weddings off premise. Again, whole different business, different website. And by the way, Square handles up to 10 websites per location. So you could have a dedicated catering website that's different than your restaurant or your restaurant online ordering page, right? So these are the pluses that get adding on. Again, custom orders, estimate, like for a wedding, sending out estimates for 3 different meal choice plans, right? Do you want menu A, B, or C? I mean, all of these things people are doing already. They're just, to your point, they're cobbling together all of these systems that don't talk to each other.
Okay, food trucks. Let's talk about this very quickly because, I mean, historically, I mean, we've always heard I need a device that can connect to Wi-Fi. I need a device that has cellular capabilities, which, by the way, sometimes the cellular capabilities cost a little bit more as well. John, you're saying 10 websites per rooftop, per business, whatever the case may be. So what I'm hearing now, the 10 websites, is that included with the Plus plan? That's my first question.
It is.
It is. Okay. So if I'm understanding correctly, if I am a restaurant owner or I own a cafe, whatever the case may be, if I have a food truck, I can have my own dedicated website for my cafe. Plus, I have the option to create another website for just my food truck, to which when it goes to that food truck website, now from a marketing standpoint, I can list all the different locations where I'm going to be. I'm going to be located at the state fair on August 31st, or whatever the case may be. So this is a huge benefit that Square brings to the table to allow merchants to cross market the different pieces of their hybrid business.
Well, so you bring up cross marketing. Maybe you want to drive food or target the food truck customers with an enticement to come try our restaurant on Monday and Tuesday nights when it's slower, right? You can cross market to the other customers because you know where they've been buying and you can encourage them to buy at the whatever else is on there. Think about restaurants often have cookbooks, they have merch, they have mugs, t-shirts. You could have a whole separate web page or website if you have canned goods, right? You package your own sauces and dressings. A lot of places do that. They could have their own merch page or website for a matter, and all the navigation could point to all the different websites,
Yeah.
right? So again, this back to hybrid.
One of the, I want to jump over like right over here to the second one, the counter service cafes and bakeries. You actually brought it to my attention that when it comes to pre-holiday orders, this is something I've heard so many times, especially when it comes to point of sale systems. Hey, Scott, you know what? I'm dealing with a cafe, I'm dealing with a mom and pop general store. They need a point of sale system that could manage all of their holiday orders, albeit Thanksgiving or Easter or Christmas, things along those lines. But John, you shared with me that some of these point of sale systems have limitations in regards to the number of days in advance a person can place an order. What did you mean by that? Talk to me about that.
So most online ordering is for now, right? ASAP, today, tomorrow. And they actually have a physical limit of, I believe, like 14 days for many of them as far as in the future. Well, and think about those catering holiday menus. They're probably different specialty items that are on your regular site. So you could take a new web page, have it just for holidays, maybe your Thanksgiving menu. You can actually pre-order up to a year in advance, but this is where the scheduling comes in. You can pick the pickup day and you could limit that just to the 24th of November for Thanksgiving, but you could pre-order all the way up to maybe the 20th, which is the cutoff for preparation, right? So these are, again, these things that happen already that no one is solving for.
Yeah. That bottom bullet, the cooking and baking classes, that is such a huge piece because, I mean, I think for the most part, a lot of business owners, as time goes on, they're starting to become more savvy. It's not one of those things where they walk in first thing in the morning and they flip the open sign and they just go, well, I'm just going to sell these tangible goods and that's it. They're getting a lot more creative. They're becoming more savvy in regards to what else can I do to start drawing more attention. I know where I live, I've got a lot of different businesses that are offering cooking and baking classes. With this, kind of tying it back into the amount of websites that are available, this is an opportunity to A, market on their main website. Click here if you're interested in signing up for some of our cooking classes or some of our baking classes, whatever the case may be. But John, correct me if I'm wrong, those websites also have the ability to accept a deposit in advance, correct?
So, right, I think we think of appointments and we think about salons and barbershops,
Yeah.
right? But you could have a cooking class that has 12 seats available and you have to register. Maybe you put a deposit. Um, when it's full, it's full. But guess what? Square has a wait list feature. So if someone cancels, you'll get an alert saying, "Hey, we have a new opening. We want to join us." But think about this bakery example and custom cakes. If you're a business owner, you want to share your love for this product. So maybe a cake decorating class, right? I mean, this happens all the time in how to put your own wallpaper up, right? In retail stores. You mentioned like Home Depots and those places have, build your own birdhouse, right? Events happen all the time. And so it's not just for salons. But again, in that $49 plan, you can mix hospitality, retail, appointments. I mean, we're just cracking the code here.
Yeah, no, seriously. You could even throw in services if you offer services as well, which is coming up very quickly here. For the most part, write down that third one there, wineries and breweries. I think for the most part, everything that we've covered thus far with hospitality, pretty straightforward. You know, tasting rooms, live events. If you want to register for one of our tasting sessions, you can sign up now. Selling the merchandise and everything else. John, this is the one that got me super excited. Let's jump over to this fourth one over here.
But before you
Playhouse.
leave number three, Scott,
Go ahead, sir. Talk to me.
um, Square has a really interesting app marketplace. And I'm just going to drop this on you because we're going to talk about the app market in a later bootcamp session. But right there in your wineries and breweries, there's actually specific apps designed for wineries and breweries in the Square app market. So again, it doesn't take any way away from all of the cross hybrid functionality, but don't forget to look in there because the app marketplace for Square solves for verticals that we could never touch in some of the other POS app marketplaces. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, and that is such a valuable point. And, you know, sales agent, you know, I love you to death. We've had so many conversations together. How many times, I can't tell you how many times it broke my heart to tell you, no, it doesn't do that. We're solving a lot of problems here today. And when we get to some of the other content, I'm telling you right now, if you don't go back and revisit, you're seriously missing the boat. And once again, breaking that mindset of, you know, oh, it's only for small mom and pop businesses. No, it's not. Right down to the hardware itself, I am assuring you, it's not just for small mom and pop businesses on Main Street. John, let's jump over to this fourth one because this one got me
So
super excited.
I'm just noticing the seat level ticketing up top. That is also from the app marketplace. And we've
Yep.
talked about this in past Toolbox Tuesdays that some POS can handle general admission, but not seat level, right? So
Yeah.
the neighborhood playhouses, the local theaters that sell section C, seat number 14, we can solve for that now.
Yeah. So I want to actually add more to this because I thought of a couple more prior to you and I jumping on this call. So you and I just came up with playhouses and local theaters. John, let's take it even further. Let's talk about children's museums. Let's talk about aquariums. Let's talk about destination places that sometimes need some of this assistance. John, matter of fact, for playhouses and local theaters, a majority of
What do you do
no,
during the
no,
matinee?
no,
Go ahead.
no, no. I got to go first.
Go ahead.
Rock, paper, scissors. Come on. When I think about playhouses and local theaters, nonprofit. A majority of those are nonprofit. How does Square handle nonprofit, John?
It handles it beautifully. In fact, there's donation modules built into Square, right? So that's essentially just another product. So what I was going to come back around and ask you, Scott, is when you're
Yes.
at the playhouse, what do you do during the matinee break in the middle?
Oh, you know exactly what I do. I walk right up to that bar and I grab myself a beer and a hot dog and the whole 9 yards and I chill and I hang out. Sometimes I will check out some of the upcoming shows. And what's cool about it is with some of these playhouses and theaters, they'll actually offer advanced sales on tickets. Or if you want, if there's like 2 or 3 shows that you like, that you want to go see, you can buy them at a bundle at a discount rate, to which Square handles that as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, John Marshall.
That is true. Branded merch, right? All that stuff I mean, there's so many facets that go into this, and all of them can be activated under the same rooftop.
When I was talking about nonprofits, I'm looking over here, memberships, fundraising. I can't tell you how many times I've watched deals where they put the brakes on just because the POS system cannot handle that level of capabilities, especially with memberships. So stop and think about it, sales agent. The word I just said, memberships. How many times have you and I had a conversation where you said, Scott, I'm dealing with this local club. They have memberships. What can we do with a point of sale system? And I go, oh, not really quite sure. So this is where Square checks those boxes. Now, one thing I want to point out to the audience very quickly here, because I can't stop laughing. If you see John and I continuously interrupt each other, it's because we have so much over here. We've been practicing this session. I know for a fact that we're both super passionate about this to the point where neither one of us wants to miss anything. So please know and understand, we've worked together for years. We never ever fight. But if we're starting to talk over each other, just understand we're super passionate about this. And correct me if I'm wrong, John.
Well, I think we've had with each Square discovery, the word is giddy.
Giddy. It
And
is
we
giddy.
want you to get as giddy about Square as we know it will.
Yeah, absolutely. John, let's share an example. This is one that you had actually shared with me. Let me get it pulled up here. Um, for the most part, we put this on here like you and I can sit here and talk all day, but sometimes images make the impact. John, you chose this. So just kind of talk through some of the nuances in regards to the why. Why did you choose this to add it for today's
Well, I
session
mean,
to get our folks
look
thinking?
at it. It has everything. I've got catering, party trays, classes, kids cooking clubs. They have a cookbook. They've got obviously on-premise food, off-premise catering. Cook with Us is again another class series. So this is actually a business right near me. And this is actually their homepage. And I wanted to sprinkle these through because I think you can do a lot of prospecting right on the web,
Yeah.
right? You can go in knowing these like buttons and frustrations are in their passion in their world, and you could lean into that. You don't have to open with processing or POS. Just like, hey, how would you like to have this under one tech stack? And you could market to every customer segment about the other things. You don't have to export email lists anymore. It's all in there.
Well, the other piece too, when you're in sales, you should never make an assumption that a person is happy because they've already got something in place. And what I mean by that is like we're looking at this example, sure, they've got the cooking classes, come dine with us, we do catering, we sell our cookbooks, we have our cooking club and everything else. From a sales perspective, we should never go into this looking at the website going, well, I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, they must be all set. You have no idea how much they're paying for this. Always keep that in the back of your mind that even though it looks like they're, quote unquote, all set, they could be paying an arm and a leg just for something like this, to which now you're going back in there with an entirely different offering that can pretty much do the same thing. John, I'm going to keep it moving forward because I see we're at the
But hang
bottom
on,
of the
Scott,
hour.
before you
Go
before you
ahead.
leave that topic, you mentioned
Yeah,
this
go
at the
ahead.
beginning of the call. These could all be separate SaaS products that don't know and talk to each other,
Yeah, exactly.
right? And they could be paying through the nose because they've cobbled it together over the years. It looks pretty on the website, but behind the scenes, it looks like the junk drawer in your kitchen.
Yeah, that's a good analogy, the junk drawer.
I just
I, I,
came up.
I think everybody's got that. I got a junk drawer. Yeah, he's right. Boom. All right, let's move forward here, my man. Retail opportunities. This one you got me excited about, the bike shops in particular. Point of sale systems. How many times has an agent come to you, John, saying, I need a point of sale system that can not only, sell the tangible items, but that merchant also needs to create service orders. They need to have billable hours for the repairs that they do, for the parts that they sell. Dive into this because you're the one that actually got me hip on this one right here.
Well, and a lot of our bike shops around here schedule like group rides in certain destinations that they register for. So that's their events, right? But they do register and they do collect funds for that because it usually goes to a charity or something else. Memberships are big for ongoing service plans. Um, Bike rentals. So I don't know where all of you are, but at the Jersey Shore, there's a lot of summer rental houses, and people want, you know, four bikes for their family on the Saturday they come in, and they want them picked up the Saturday they're leaving. And then guess what? Wash, rinse, repeat. The next person comes in. I'm pointing out rentals in particular and in bike shops because in the Square app marketplace, there is an app called Rentrax that can do exactly that, where the inventory doesn't get sold, it gets booked and rebooked and rebooked. Think about canoe rentals. Think about anything that gets reused, re-rented, that there's a reservation for a date, for a duration, etc.
Oh, tying into that too, incremental rental. You're doing it by the hour, by the day. I mean, you can really drill down in regards to those nuances too, correct?
Yep, it can handle. You could rent a bike for an hour. I might need it for a week for a vacation.
Yep. Bookstores, smack dab in the middle. For the most part, pretty straightforward. A lot of them do have cafes. Some of them have book signings. Register, for a book signing that's coming up fairly soon. We're holding an event, neighborhood block party, whatever the case may be. John, I want to jump over to pet stores because once again, this ties back into something that I was saying earlier about business owners are just becoming a lot more savvy. It's not just flipping that open sign, opening the door, I sell tangible goods. Their brains are focused on services. So pet stores in particular, I'm thinking, we got it right here, the grooming services, the training, doggy daycare. I mean, these are all things that speak to a wide audience where these folks are doubling down on it. But sometimes some of these point of sale systems are charging them a heck of a lot more just to have this functionality in place.
Well, and pet stores, and I'm seeing the e-commerce there, right? Think about the competition from Chewy, right? If a local pet store can deliver or ship or all the above, they can actually compete on a local level with some of those big brands. The other thing that all three of these, well, I think it's the nature of retail, is their heavy inventory.
Yes.
Lots of product, lots of sizes, flavors, variants, etc. Square does this very, very well. Square also has low inventory alerts that you can activate. And with the new Manager Bot AI tool, you can actually ask any question and it'll answer. So, for example, which items should I order at what intervals and in what quantities to match my sales numbers? And it'll answer it for you, right? So, this is not reporting anymore. This is custom AI inquiries into your sales and item databases. It's really
I,
powerful.
I'm going to throw one thing out there because I just can't help myself, but we're going to jump over to the next slide. Square also has the ability to scan new items and add directly into your inventory. For the most part, kind of assume not really a lot of folks do that, but guess what Square does? So, John, another example that you had shared too was, get our audience thinking about visiting all their local businesses' websites just to see what it entails. And it ties back to what we were saying previously. Just because it looks good, oh my gosh, wow, they must be all set. To your point, they could have cobbled this together with systems that are not even talking to each other, John.
Well, and many of these nav things could be their own websites. Like Surrey Bikes is a whole different type of product than road bikes or electric. So again, this is a multifaceted bike shop that has all sorts of different brands. You can see service and repairs in there, that rental we talked about a moment ago. So the website is a great lead of where they want to be or get. Don't think that behind the scenes it looks as good as this because this was designed by someone else.
Well, the other piece too is it's a good opportunity to have a conversation about the website to find out if there are currently limitations in place.
Yep, exactly right.
Yep. All right. Here we go. Home improvement and contractors. You alluded to it at the beginning of the call. Like the Home Depots, sure they sell all their tangible goods. I know my local Home Depot, my local Lowe's, they're starting to get into join us for classes on how to do flooring, how to build a birdhouse, like you were saying earlier. Let's dive into some of these. All right, every time I talk to you, you always bring up something I didn't think about. Garden centers and nurseries. That was not even at the top of my mind. Why did that stick out to you, John?
So normal garden centers buy from wholesalers, right? All the plant stock and all that. And guess what? It comes tagged and barcoded. That makes a very easy transition. As you said, I can actually scan a barcode and it'll load the item name and the an image for you. So barcoding is very important for retailers because it rings up the proper price of the proper item without relying on the clerk to choose the right button. So inventory depletion is happening. It's all that. So garden centers also do huge volume. They tend to be seasonal, but they also you buy those plants or shrubs. They probably have a crew that they can send out and have them planted and installed for you. They probably do brick walkways and back patios. And guess what, Scott? They're probably sending out estimates for those larger jobs. They're probably delivering mulch and gravel and sand. To your point, they probably have, classes on how to arrange or set up terrariums and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to speak to Brad Withrow directly on this. He's got a lot of garden centers out in the Midwest that have cafes in them. So this is not I didn't just make this up.
Yeah.
I think they get their customers to move in for a couple hours or something. I don't know.
John, do you remember 2 weeks ago, one of the running comments that you and I said repeatedly was, "Hey, everybody, Square has tentacles." I think we need to revisit that because one of the things that just popped into my brain when I saw delivery, going back to the whole up to 10 websites. Okay, click here, see what we've got, place an order, we can deliver it, to which this allows for the garden center, the nursery to collect payment up front. However, if it's one of those situations where, they collect 50% up front, 50% due upon delivery, what does Square do best? Oh, wait a second, accept payment at the time of the delivery right there on the smartphone, John.
So you could have a card on file, right? You could do that automatically. You could send a final invoice via email that has a pay link on it. To your point, Scott, Square is one of only two that I'm aware of that has tap on glass, readerless EMV card acceptance on both Android and iOS.
Atlas.
Both.
Yeah.
There's only one other brand that I'm not going to mention that does it, but Square includes it. The other brand charges for it. Just throwing it out there.
No, and that's a good piece that's another good piece to bring up as well. And going back to what we said at the very beginning, it's not about card processing, it's about solving problems for merchants. To your point, yes, they do charge a little bit more for it, depending on the other avenue that you explore. But with Square's saying, look, all we want is an opportunity to step up to the plate to help you solve your problems for your business. We've got all the tools available. I would say that's probably the biggest piece to always keep in mind, friends, is that Square has got a toolbox built to help a business find success. It's not about the merchant services. It's not about the card processing or the basis points. This is about going in with an entire suite that generally costs a lot more money because there's so many different SaaS plans being tagged on to just one account. All right, I'm going to move over. My God, I didn't realize we were.
So hang on,
so far behind.
before you leave this, and this you can
Yes,
see
sir.
there's a commonality in the last three. Estimate shows up every time.
Yep.
We talked about this earlier for catering, but in these guys, you might have, by the way, Square's estimates, you can have multiple estimates presented to a customer and they can choose A, B, or C. They can also, or you can enable automatically that the estimate that's selected could automatically turn into an invoice. You can also set a multiple deposit schedule and intervals for each of them, right? Time you commit. And by the way, you can even have an e-signed contract sent when they accept that. So you can have a contract sent, a deposit to start it. You might have 3 more deposits through time. I mean, all this stuff really suits these last 3 in particular. Like installation is the last step. We talked about payments at job site. Think about the last one. Locksmiths, alarm, towing contractors, where I've got 30 people in the field and they don't know what the bill's going to be until they put in the parts, they see what their labor time is involved. And then that tap on glass is a frictionless way to solve this.
The key piece on the contractors with HVAC, plumbing, and miscellaneous contractors with the locksmiths, the alarm companies, the towing, technician dispatching. So it have the ability to dispatch technicians out in the field, scheduling in advance. That's going to be available in Square also. Plus, with Square being permission-based, there's also that opportunity that if a business owner wants to give their technician permission to accept payment out in the field, albeit tap on glass, that can be set up as well. All right,
So,
my man.
so let me mention that, right? We all think about scheduling for, again, salons and barbers.
Yeah.
But that's me, the patron, scheduling my own visit. But for contractors, the office is taking the phone calls. They can schedule which technician goes to what job. And then just like an employee would see their schedule to work at the restaurant, the contractor can see what jobs have been scheduled for them, where the site location is, and what services were requested, right? So it's first party scheduling versus third party scheduling. Really powerful difference, but it opens up this whole new world.
And what I'm going to do, John, is I'm going to jump ahead past the next slide to the follow-up slide because
Yep.
at the pace we're going right now, this is going to turn into a Friday happy hour. I'm just putting it
Okay.
out there. So, so let me jump ahead. All right, this one,
Actually,
this
I'm
one,
going to ask you to go back, Scott. I'm going to push back on that, and I'm going to just mention
sir.
one thing.
You better be quick, sir. I swear to God, I'll turn
One
your
thing.
microphone off.
One
What?
thing.
Go,
And
go.
you guys see this. I don't need to point it out, but the top bullet point and the upper left corner, locations plural. We've talked about the plus plan, but I'm going to tell you the premium plan for retail handles multiple locations, transfers of goods sold here, refunded there, right? So multiple locations are well within reach under this one umbrella. Again, cross marketing to all your customers, but transfers and distribution of goods, premium plan. Now you can go.
All right, that was worth calling out. Shame on me. I'm sorry. All right, lifestyle and recreation. Marinas, I never even thought about, just on a very high level, John. Let's talk about marinas. And then I want to jump over to golf courses because I'm going to tell you right now, for as long as I've been doing this, golf courses have always been the bane of my existence. But you made it sound so much cooler. Marinas, you're the one that brought this up. Why marinas, John?
You get off your boat, you're hot, you're thirsty, you want to go to the grill and while you're filling up the fuel. Most marinas have multifaceted business by design, right? They do rentals, slip rentals, overnight rentals, but they also sell you food, bait, lines, hooks, sinkers. And I keep going through this golf courses, Scott. Um, the app market for Square has specific apps for golf simulator companies, for tee times solutions. Again, the pro shop is merch, right? Private lessons, appointments, uh, rentals. Maybe you rent a cart or a rolling cart or a caddy. Um, we laughed at this one, Scott. QR code ordering.
Yeah.
I'm driving by the tee of the eighth hole. I scan a QR code and order my burger and beer to be ready at the ninth at the snack bar.
Creative ways to present this to us, as a solution to any of those golf courses. Now, to be clear with everybody, the reason why I said historically, and for those of you that used to work with me at, the previous company many, many years ago, you remember that I used to be the point of sale guy. Hey, we've got a hybrid point of sale system that manages retail and restaurant, and then I used to get you all excited about it. And then you'd call me up and say, "Hey, I got a golf course, they got a pro shop, they got a snack shop. Can your hybrid take care of that, Scott?" And I'd say, "Heck yeah." But then there was always that curveball, wasn't there? Scott, they need to do tea time. Scott, they need to do private lessons. Scott, they need the ability to, charge per hour on the driving range. Remember those conversations? They came right to a screeching halt because that kind of functionality is not typically built into either a retail or a restaurant point of sale system. Friends, we're solving problems here. Think about those golf courses that we've talked about previously. Go back. Don't miss the opportunity. To John's point, if you want to be creative about it, and if like that snack shop is like right at the ninth hole, and you're going, hey, you know what? We could actually probably drive more business there. What are your thoughts in regards to the golfers scanning a QR code at the eighth hole so that they can pick up their burger and their beer by the time they get to the ninth hole? So many different ways that each and every single one of you can present this to those type of opportunities. John, let's double down. Let's dive into salons and spas. Let's talk about fitness studios. Those two kind of sort of have some similarities, at least as far as the spa and fitness studios go. But talk about salons because I know for a fact this has caused a lot of heartburn with a lot of agents just due to multiple chairs and scheduling and doing appointments and collecting up front and everything else. Take it away, John. What you got?
Well, I'm going to lump these two together. And my favorite solution is these packages, right? And it would apply to a salon or a fitness studio. I'm going to pick on fitness. Let's say personal training. If you buy a block of 10 visits, you'll get a 10% discount. Square will track at each visit, it will decrement. Say you've used 3 out of your 10, 4 out of your 10. Packages for salons, same things. You want those customers to come back to you, not to go to your competitors. So by selling them packages or blocks, you've locked them in for the next N number of visits. So I think that's a really important thing. At the bottom of salons, again, bookings and wait lists. Wait lists are really interesting because maybe I want to get a call if that spot opens up, right? So, and again, fitness studios, they're probably selling vitamins. They're probably selling workout shorts and tops, right? There's the merch component. So again, it's these tentacles that we talked about that make up these hybrid businesses that Square can solve for.
Yeah. All right. And I'm taking a look at the time. I want to be respectful of your time, sales agent. For the most part, I appreciate the fact that you took the time to join us here today. John, what I want to do, and I apologize, you and I worked hard on putting this together. I want to jump ahead to that one section that you had actually put together, which kind of brings it home when sales agents are logged into their demo account.
Yep.
All of these individual boxes that are on the screen, if a sales agent logs into their demo account, these are the various drop downs within the demo account, right, John?
There's a ton of features here. Yes.
Yeah. So now, sales agent, I'm going to leave this up here for just one more second. Take a look at this. Top box, appointments, bottom of the box right underneath it, banking, channels, payment and invoices, managing staff, reports, etc., etc., etc. Okay? All of this is included with Square. One more time with feeling, all of this is included with Square. Now, this is where it starts to become a little bit sobering, okay? Look at the screen. This is Square. Let's talk about Square's competitors. Boom. Now, the competition is charging more money for the basic features that Square's already including. Go to that top one. Oh, you want appointments on the point of sale system? Cha-ching. Oh, what's that? You want to have a calendar for your appointments so your customers can book? Cha-ching. Nickel and diming. John wrote it right here on the screen. Death by 1,000 cuts. All of this is included for free. All of this is included within the Square ecosystem.
So, Scott,
If
would you happen to have a slide that kind of maybe put some numerical context to this?
do I? Oh, there we go. John, take it away. I want you to read through this because this is your baby. You threw this slide together. Talk to us, my man.
Well, this just drives home what we're talking about. You'll see the Square column. It's all green. It's all included. It's all $49. And notice in the upper right corner of each, device 1 and 4 devices. Well, guess what? 4 devices are still $49 in Square. Now, I don't like picking on, you know, my love for Clover, but again, Clover has the app add-on problem. So to match in the app market the same quality of what's included in Square, I've noted actually the brands and how they market themselves. But look at that, $330 for the equivalent with one device, 410 for 4. And the Darth Vader of the POS world, well, take a look at those numbers. And by the way, see the Toast IQ at the bottom? That's their AI equivalent to ManagerBot, but it doesn't do half of what ManagerBot does. But depending on the size of the business, they charge them $200 and $500 a month for that same product that's included at 49 with Square.
John, let's do some math because you are obviously way better at sales than I was because it's the reason why I got out of sales because I love trading. But let's do some quick math. Let's just talk about the golf course very, very quickly, okay? I want you to sit and I want you to write down the numbers as we go through it. The golf course, Pro Shop, 2 devices. Write that down. 2 devices, okay?
Okay.
Let's talk about the snack shop, 3 devices, okay? Let's talk about, they've got maybe 2 bars on premises. Each bar has 5 devices. Okay?
Well, how about the servers that each have a handheld for the table service?
Let's talk about them too. Throw in some more numbers, John.
All right, let's give six to them.
All right, we're going to get six of them. What do you got for a grand total, my man? Just
Looks like
ballpark.
we've got 16 devices.
16 devices. One golf course, one business, considered one rooftop, multiple facets of their business. Rather than nickel and diming them on every single device being provided to them, one price, sign them up for Plus, coming in at 49 bucks per month, multiple devices throughout the entire. Think about the vastness of a golf course, how vast it is, like just how many different locations there are, throughout the entire property itself. Okay, if you go into that with one of these other two competitors on the right hand side, it's going to cost a lot of money. How many times have we had conversations where you said to me, well, the guy does have like a lot of different pieces happening all at once, but he's very cost conscious.
So
Think
Scott,
about how. Go
what
ahead,
about
John.
golf courses? Like if they have a pool or outdoor dining, right? Half of
Yep.
those devices may not be used for half of the year, but they're still paying for them.
Wait. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Stop. Time out. I'm playing with you here. Time out. So wait a second. Are you telling me that with some of these other point of sale systems, even if it's seasonal and they're at the end of season, they're not using those devices anymore? Wait a second. Are they still getting charged?
Absolutely. Now you could do a factory reset and decouple them from your account, but who does that?
Okay. So I'm sorry. I'm not buying this. So you're telling me, I know, right? So you're telling me at the end of the season, does the business owner need to call Square? Do they need to call Pay Compass support and say, pause everything for me? I mean, it can't be that easy, John.
Well, so let me say this. If you do have the clubhouse that runs the rest of the year, you're still paying $49. But if you're truly a seasonal, like you're an ice cream shop up on Martha's Vineyard and you close for half the year, you can put your whole account on pause.
That
And
is
guess what? There's no monthly mid fee to pause. There's no PCI fee or non-compliance fee to pause. In fact, there's no PCI certification either. So when you put the pause, it all comes to a screeching halt until you go back next spring and flip on the switch and off you go.
Yep. And to be respectful of our agent's time here, want to make sure that we do answer any and all questions. This is a good question, and I think this one could actually go over to one of our sales ops people. If somebody is on the call, I want to get this out there, read it out loud. The question is, how will I know when my Square account has been modified over to a demo? John, if you know the answer, great. If we've got somebody from sales ops on the call, come off mute. Let's get that one answered. Love to hear the answer on that one.
Normally, there is a confirmation. You do need to put a credit card in. The first 30 days are free for everyone, yourself and a Square seller. But again, I think the first clue is they just turn off the billing. But if you get charged on your card, you know who to call. But normally it's
Right.
just we just send them your demo account and they turn off the billing flag.
I would, and once again, if we have somebody from the sales ops team on here that can answer this question, come off mute, put it in the chat, answer it live, that would be fantastic. But the question is, how will I know when my Square demo account has been modified so it's an actual demo account? I'm under the impression that our team, since they're on top of everything, is probably going to send you an email saying good to go, but let's get that verified.
And by the way, there's no difference between a demo account and a live account, except a demo account is not billed. You have exactly the same features and functionalities that your sellers will.
Yep. All right. Sales agent John and I covered a lot of stuff. Hopefully, we didn't make you feel like you're drinking from the fire hose, but you know what? This is your turn to come off mute, ask your questions. We'd love to hear your questions. Or if you would like, you could put your questions right into the chat. So now we're opening it up to you. Let's hear from you.
You can raise your hands if you have a question, and I will unmute you. So if anyone wants to
Ah,
speak. Yeah.
I'm telling you folks, working in the background is this magical unicorn named Producer Hind. I told you on Toolbox Tuesday, she keeps the wheels on the bus with all of these webinars. She knows what she's talking about. So thank you very much, Domo Arigato, Producer Hind, for letting the audience know. So if you do have questions, use the raise hand feature. Producer Hind will take you right off mute.
I got you.
Thank you.
Well, while we're waiting, Scott, I just want to remind everybody, Bootcamp is taking a break next Thursday, but will return weekly in August and September. Again, we're going to be diving into each of these different segments of your demo account, right? We talked about the hybrid nature. This was the overview today, but that grid that Scott showed you of the navigation, each of those separate sections we're going to address in subsequent visits of Bootcamp, and you're going to be an expert by the end.
Yep. Who else is on break next week, John?
Me.
Yeah. So friends, be aware. You better plan accordingly because next week John is on vacation. He's going to be nowhere to be found. So if you need this man, you probably got less than 24 hours. So reach out if you do need him. John, I see a couple of questions that popped up in the chat. I'm going to lean into you because I think that you could probably answer these fairly quickly here. The first question that popped up, this all sounds great, but who from Square will help us set up on the dashboard for the clients? Talk to us, John. Who can help with that?
That's a two-part answer, Jerry. Like Clover, Square can be a DIY or an agent do it for you, right? So that's why we want you proficient in your demo account, so you can help merchants set up their own. If you don't want to do that, or if it's a more sophisticated or complex setup, like say that plumbing group that has dispatch and all those other things, Square does have professional service plans in a plus and a premium version. You can find details of those and costs and what's included in the Genie app under the knowledge base. Just search for Square. But again, we have the ability to choose do it yourself DIY, or have Square actually hire Square to do that for your merchant.
Yeah, and that also ties into the second comment that was put into the chat. Implementation has always been the hardest part, and not knowing the Square setup options, this could be really stressful for both the merchant and for the sales agent.
Well, and frankly, if you're not an expert in restaurants, maybe you definitely want to set the expectation that there's these two plans that Square offers, and they can pick the level of integration. By the way, there is a third a la carte option where you can have a person on premise for live day and setup. So there are this full suite of professional services. Again, it's in Genie, that can be added on. So if you're not that specialist, or if it's a big fish that you want to have handled perfectly, Square gives you the choice of either.
Yeah, one of the things I want to go back to too, John, the Toolbox Tuesday that we just did 2 days ago, one of the most valuable pieces, and friends, I promise you, if you have not seen that Toolbox Tuesday that we did, it's already on YouTube. Just look for it. It's got the Toolbox Tuesday. It's got the date, which was July 21st. Yep, it's on Genie. How to set up your Square demo account. The most powerful piece that Matt Piva shared during that call is when he shared import from your current point of sale system. And friends, if you missed that call, or maybe I don't remember what all those point of sale systems were, I'm telling you right now, Square takes away the friction. When Matt showed that list, I saw Toast, I saw Spot On, I saw Global. John, what were some of the other point of sale systems that were in that list where it just pulls that stuff right out?
SkyTab. You can actually go and pull from Instacart. You can pull from Chow Now, DoorDash. And so I did this with my demo account when I started it up. And this might be an interesting idea for you all, is find a local restaurant that has Toast and go to their online Toast ordering page. And you can point your demo account to that, and it will suck in all the menus and the modifiers that they're currently offering online. And I share that with you for two reasons. One, you can have different menus from different local restaurants that you can demo on your account. And they're actual live restaurants with all of their modifiers and all that. But you can also import a prospects menu and go demo with their actual menu on your demo account. Boom.
John, just for my sake of clarity, and I apologize for not knowing the answer on this one, but when we added those templates to Navigo, and we keep telling agents, use these templates to set up your demo account, John, are those templates readily available for merchants if they wanted to do some sort of a menu build?
They certainly
Or,
could. Again, for $150, Square will do it for them, right? So it's an a la carte service plan as well. If they have something online right now, like if they have a DoorDash posted right now, this can go and pull all the menus and modifiers from their own DoorDash into their new POS. And then, by the way, then it can also link with DoorDash, so all those orders, print right in the kitchen in real time, so they don't have the little extra tablets and all that garbage. So
excellent.
it's just mind blowing. It's not even fair.
It's not fair. And friends, we're going to start to wrap this up here. I'm going to throw it out to you again one more time. Questions. What do you have for us? You can either use the raised hand feature, or if you would like, you can throw a question right into the chat. I want to make sure we kind of wrap up on time here a little bit. Let's see, Q&A. Oh, okay. Here's a question. Does Toast manage the delivery services like Square does? That's a great question.
So
I bet it costs money.
I'm gonna take that to mean integrate with the third-party delivery services. And yes, Toast, I believe, charges it's either 25 or 50 per integration. Guess what, Scott? You know how much they are in Square? Included. That's right. So anyway, so yes, they do all that. But again, I'm going to mention about import one more thing. You can take a photo, a good photo, mind you, of their menu, feed it into the import section, and AI will do the analysis and build that for you.
There you have it. One last time, use the raised hand feature, come off mute. Love to hear your questions.
That's right. Think about the sprawl all over the counter. They ding all the time. You have to accept the order or decline it. I mean, there's a whole bunch of baggage that comes with that.
Yeah,
So yeah, get rid of it.
absolutely. All right, last call. Last call. Raise your hand. What do you have for questions? Otherwise, we're going to break, friends. What? What do I? All right, there we go. Right at 3.
Well, we
Friends,
got one
nope.
more from Jerry. One more from Jerry in there.
Okay, go ahead.
Record Square apps are add-on that get built on top of the SaaS fees. That is true. Those are third-party developer solutions.
Yep.
So that would be. And by the way, go into the Genie app under other services. I have a listing of really interesting Square apps. Again, we talked a lot about golf courses. Check out the different variations. Go to those websites. Make sure they have the features that your prospects need before you go pitching them. But again, the app market is really solutioning to specific verticals. So that app list, I almost think of as a prospecting list that we couldn't touch before.
Agreed. I did not see any other questions. I did not see any other raised hands. So to you, the sales agent, my hope, my genuine hope is that you enjoy these sessions. I hope you're learning a lot. I hope you're starting to feel more confident in regards to your demo account. This is all that we want. I'm going to tell you right now, this partnership that we have with Square is worth getting excited about. John said it best. Square opens doors that you couldn't open previously. Our goal, once again, it's not about merchant services, and it's not about small mom and pop on Main Street.
Total cost of ownership, Scott. TCO.
Total cost of ownership. I'm telling you right now, from their technology to their hardware, I'm hard pressed to believe that there's any businesses out there that they cannot take care of. So with that said, thank you for joining us here today. We do appreciate it. I'll see you next week on Tuesday for the final Toolbox Tuesday during the month of July. And we're going to see you again on Bootcamp coming up on, I believe it's August 6th. But until we meet again, domo arigato. Thank you very much for joining us here today. And as always, reach out if you get stuck. We can't help if we don't know where it hurts. One last time, let's give some love to John Marshall too. John is the one that put this together. And to you, the sales agent, I apologize that he and I get a little nerdy, passionate. We talk over each other, but it's not, I'm telling you right now, we've known each other for years. We just get passionate and we get into a race to see who's going to get it out first. Sometimes, a majority of this time, I lose. John, I see your finger up. What do you got? One more
By
time.
the way,
Yep.
I'm that guy. You saw Jerry Maguire, right?
Yeah.
I guess it was night and day. You know, you with me, without me. I can do Square and Clover live demos on ScreenShare.
Yep.
Right. So I can help you with that prospect. Square does live demos for you for accounts that are $1 million or more
$1 or over
per year.
Yep. Exactly. John Marshall, thank you for putting the content together. You, sales agent, thank you for joining us. Love seeing you on these calls. Gonna say class dismissed, and we'll see you next week on Tuesday. Until we meet again, rock on, stay heavy metal, and thanks for joining us here today, everybody. Take care.